Good afternoon. Hello, Professor Cam, TAs, everyone, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about an opportunity to make around 7 to 15% or more in 15 minutes or less. This opportunity starts off with PepsiCo. Now, PepsiCo as a whole, you might recognize it for its flagship product, the Pepsi Cola, but it actually operates as a huge food and beverage company. Frito-Lay North America segment offers Lay's, Ruffles, Doritos, Tostitos, Cheetos, anything that kind of ends with Eatos. That's kind of what that Pepsi has. As well as Quaker, Aunt Jemima, Captain Crunch, Life, Quaker Chew bars, Rice-A-Roni. It has a full snack beverage, food and beverage kind of portfolio. Now, if you notice from what I said, about 85 to 90% of the snacks, as I just mentioned, are not healthy. You can start getting with Quaker Chewy, Quaker, those healthy-ish. You kind of brand recognize those as healthy, but Pepsi Cola right now is kind of focused in the snack market. Needless to say, the snack market has been growing exponentially for the last couple of years, and it probably will continue to do so. But the main shift that we recognize right now is that those snacks and the people buying those snacks are not only the old generation, but the new generation, the generation that Pepsi has historically targeted and tried to acquire shareholder value from. Well, that new generation, as done by the survey of Statista, shows that only 23% of millennials would even consider buying a Pepsi. Because most of the time, if they're going to buy some of that soda, sugar-loaded beverage, they're considering buying Coca-Cola, Sprite, just kind of, and that's not even their main target right now. Millennials and the newer generation is focused on bubblies, is focused on Topo Chico, is focused on Mineraguas. That's the main thing with Pepsi right now. They're disconnected from their target audience. People are no longer connecting Pepsi to this idea of revolution, kind of against the norm, fight against the big man. They're losing that connection to the audience, and that is my main argument for why you should sell Pepsi. So, PepsiCo has recently raised prices because of inflation. It's increased media spending to kind of account for those kind of shifted decrease in revenue sales of growth. They've increased media a lot, media spending and marketing and kind of placing their product everywhere to account for that shift in revenue. So today we're going to talk about Pepsi in 3 different chapters. Kind of what I talked about a little, the kind of overview of Pepsi, moving into their shifts of executives, their shifts of marketing, their shifts of recent news, and finishing up with the DCF valuation, and kind of how we got to the point where we're saying, let's get rid of Pepsi, and not only get it out of the portfolio, but possibly even short it to get some positive return on our portfolio. So Pepsi has been a roller coaster ride in 2018. It opened in 94 and kind of met at its 52-week high at 115, which it's currently trading at. It has a beta of around 0.67, and it has been really have some concerns of decline over the long term. Soda sales and corresponding drag on both revenue and earnings, combined with the risk of inflation, has resulted in PepsiCo shares sliding to a lower of the first half of 2018. This isn't for any random reason. Soda sales, snacks, bubblies, as we said before, have really not been matching up with the consumer demands and needs. The risk of inflation growing as well has caused Pepsi to increase prices, hence even checking back more of the customer's checkbook. So PepsiCo has a lot to discover and a lot to kind of rethink in these next couple of years. And that comes with a lot of spending. On top of that, a Bid-Ask Club and Goldman Sachs have both issued a sell rating for Pepsi with a target price of 108, which almost identically matches the DCF that I personally ran, valuing all of the comps and all the numbers to get you a share price of around 106.73 to 108, depending on which multiple you use and which comps. In other news, the CEO for 12 years, Indra Nooyi, stepped down. She had made pretty sustainable growth and kind of manage the snack market. But now that the executives realize that they need someone to lead Pepsi into the new generation of organic foods, of healthy foods, of kind of snacks that are quick to go, but not kind of stay in your waist. They hired Ramon Lagurta. He worked at Chupa Chups until 1996, and from 1996 until present, he's been working with Pepsi. So this kind of shows you a little bit of struggling in Pepsi. There's some recognition that change needs to be done, and to kind of reinforce that, the CEO of Latin America, Laxman Narasim, sold 5,500 shares of stock in this transaction on Thursday. It was sold at an average price of $106, which is what the current price really should be. This is in Thursday of October 4th. So you see that he recognized that the price even then is what the actual price should be. And right now we're going up to $115, which fundamentally makes kind of contradicts what Pepsi's planning to do. So there's little doubt that Pepsi's flagship product presents risk going forward. You know, the healthy moves coming in, kind of kicking out these stop buying Doritos, stop buying fats, stop buying junk food. And we actually have seen a very specific moment when Pepsi stopped kind of really matching with its customer base. It began in early 2016. Only 23% of millennials would even consider buying it when Pepsi took out the Pepsi Fire. That's when the real disconnect began. Now moving on towards your DCF, which is the workbook that I turned in along with this video, you can see that we use a tax rate of 21% using a historical average, as well as a terminal growth around 3%, which is around 1% inflation, 2% growth, which I think is very generous given the percentage of growth that Pepsi has had in the past years. We used a WACC of 7%, given a beta of 0.67, and Bloomberg's WACC to kind of get a pretty as well generous WACC for Pepsi. Our EBIT projections through FactSet ended up in 2020, and we needed to project out to 2022. So we used the historical average to kind of multiply that by the 5% growth rate combined with the sales to project out the EBIT necessary for this valuation. We got a current price of we got a stock price estimate of $106.73. I mean, it's currently trading at $115. So that's around a 7.2% return by just getting it out of your portfolio and putting a nice short bet on it in the short term. If you use the EBITDA multiple approach, we still get a price of around $108, which smacks the nail on the head for Goldman Sachs estimate. So the bottom line here today is, by diversifying its product line, Pepsi can still bring value to its shareholders. It can still see that tremendous revenue growth. But in reality, that's going to require a lot more than just the tremendous media spending increase from the previous years. It will require Pepsi to really start investing and divesting its junk food lines and investing in mineraguas, in mineral water, in organic foods, and kind of trying to revolutionize and match with the target audience. Right now, Pepsi is no longer the choice for the new generation, and that's why you should get it out of your portfolio. Thank you.